Hey, what's going on, guys? This is your host, Jay, and this is From Inside Out. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I appreciate it. Uh, if you guys don't know what this live show is for, basically it's to celebrate the massive amount of followers that I just achieved on Twitter. And of course, other platforms too as well, but Twitter seems to be the hot place right now to do prison related issues and such. So it's a major celebration right now when it comes to that in itself. Plus, this is also a chance to meet every single one of you guys that have been following me on Twitter and other platforms, by the way. And I can get to know you guys better and even answer some questions that you may have regarding our prisons and all of the issues that go along with our system as a whole. So I appreciate every single one of you guys joining me tonight. I really do. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing because believe it or not, you guys out there help spread the awareness and education that we have to everybody. So it's just not me, it's all of you guys that are doing it too. So you guys are appreciated. There's one person in here. So major shout out to Rise over here, 305. Thank you so much for joining tonight. I appreciate it. On your platforms, if you could please go over there and share this live so other people can join and also possibly even get educated in this. So if you have any questions, this is the place to do it tonight. This is a Q&A session. I can talk about whatever topic you guys want to talk about if the facts are there and all of that. So you guys understand how this works. So Rise over here just said the sex offender genre is going to be huge on YouTube. No, I agree. That's one major thing that I'm all for, as you know, to abolish that whole entire thing. I mean, we need to get rid of it completely. A lot of you already know how corrupt and unconstitutional it is. So maybe we can talk about that too as well. So real quick, some of you guys do not belong to Twitter. And I understand it's not your niche. You know, some people don't have it out there. But anyways, to kind of show you what I'm talking about, and I wish there was a way I had more technology to show you my page on Twitter as a whole. But I can kind of give you an idea what it looks like just by showing you guys here like this. It's kind of the getaway, but you guys get it. There's my Twitter account. You can see all the followers that I have. It's a milestone for me. You know, I never thought it'd be that big. So I have over 1,900 followers on Twitter, and I'm hoping anyways, at least half of those followers will begin on this live tonight with me and talking about issues and whatnot in our prisons. Rise over here, you just said, how come the prison YouTubers like Tim Snow, Texas Prison Stories, or Big Herc Fresh Out don't interview you? That's a good question. You know, look, and the only way I can answer that question truthful with you here tonight is I think a lot of people are afraid of the truth, are afraid of facts, you know, and every time I bring the truth and facts to the table, as you guys know, a lot of people like to run from it and hide. Or in some cases with me, and it never seems to stop, the haters get on and shut down my platforms because people like me can't have one, according to them. But as you guys know, the United States Supreme Court not too long ago passed a law to where people like me can actually have social media. So it's a major First Amendment violation, including other violations. And yeah, I could have, you know, like Mark Zuckerberg, I could have turned around and sued Facebook and all that, but it's too much of a headache. You know, not many people have become very successful because he's majorly rich and got a lot of money. So, and you guys know money talks, and that's how you lose your cases. Same thing with the system. If you ever get tied into the system, same way. It's all about the money. So Rise said, I used to have Twitter, but my account got shut down in 2018 when I tweeted abortion is legalized murder. Oh yeah, see? Now you know. Now you can relate, believe it or not, to what I'm talking about. So you got shut down for telling the truth about that topic. I get shut down because of my record. So you guys all know how this whole thing works. Everybody wants, I don't know, they want a certain type of drama. instead of the truth and the facts being put to the table or on the table, they rather have drama. Does that make sense? Drama sells for whatever reason. So, Rise, thank you so much for your comments and your even your concerns and questions that you're bringing to the table. It helps out me, and also it's a major education thing for everybody that gets involved in this live. According to my live, though, it shows nobody in here, but which is funny. You're in here, but it doesn't show up on the audience section. That's weird. I don't know. Are you subscribed to my channel, Rise? And the reason why I say that is because I don't know if you get notified, if you got the notification bell turned on, or I don't know what your on your end looks like. So again, this is a Q&A session. This is also a celebration to share with all of you the excitement, if you will, for having 1,900 plus followers on Twitter. That's a pretty amazing milestone for me. Rise, you got back on here and said it's a shame that not a lot of people realize that you don't have to be, a rapist or a child molester to wind up on the sex offender registry. And you're absolutely right, Rise. And it happens every day. I don't know if you saw the news here recently. And again, I wish I had it saved. I might have to do some research and send it to you, or maybe you have it somewhere in your files. Believe it or not, little kids now are becoming on the registry, anywhere from ages 5 and lower. So yeah, that's real talk. 5-year-olds are becoming on the registry. What kind of threat can a 5-year-old bring? I mean, they're going as far as if a 5-year-old, kisses somebody on the cheek, they get to be on the registry. This whole entire thing is been blown up or over ridiculous. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. The whole thing was designed to keep track of the bad ones, and now we're doing it with kids. It doesn't make any sense. Rise, you subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you. And then you also said down below that you said, are you going to seek asylum to Europe, like common sense laws, aka Stephen? No, I get your question. I appreciate that. And to be honest with you, I shouldn't have to run or hide from anything, because I know I'm innocent. With my, my background that I have, I know I didn't do any of my cases or whatever you want to call it. And I'm just going to stick it through. I mean, I passed my 10-year mark anyways, just so you know, for the state of Washington. I passed my 10-year mark, so I can get off of it. I just got to find an attorney and get off that whole entire list. So I won't be there anymore. So that's a milestone too. I don't know if I ever brought that up to you or not, but people like me, I was on it. I am only allowed to be on it for 10 years. It's been 13 years if you want to get down to brass tacks. So I'm safe. No, I appreciate your comment though, Rise. I really do. And it makes sense. Like I said, if you have any more questions regarding that or any other issues tonight on this show, I'm here for an hour. All right. So let's get it out there. Share my stuff. If you can, Rise, if you're still hearing me, real quick, get on the site that we talked to, not here on YouTube, but the other one. I just had a brain fart. And share this live with your group that you belong to. And hopefully it'll come over here and be a part of it too, not just you. All right. So let me see what's going on with Twitter real quick and see if everybody's over there or on here. I only got, like it's now, one follower or one person's live now with me in the chat. And I'm assuming it's you. So let me see what's going on here. Again, for the record, this is not just a Q&A session. This is also a celebration for my 1,910 now followers on Twitter. All right, so that's pretty cool. Rise, you said cyber attacks happens. Yes, they do. Not everyone that faced or served time in prison or possession of what's that called? Oh yeah, sorry, my eyes are bad. Child porn actively had a addiction or seeked out child. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Absolutely. And with my case, as I think I told you little bits and pieces of it when it happened back in 2009. I was doing security work. All right. And the whole entire night, I felt not at ease. I felt just, it wasn't a right night to go to work. It was my day off anyways, but I went in anyways because my boss called me in. You know how it is. So I went to work, and I made a mistake by going down to my father's house. That's how this whole thing stemmed out. I went down to my dad's, fully dressed in my uniform, driving my vehicle that I bought, which is an decommissioned police vehicle. Yeah, I know it's nuts, but hey, it is what it is. It's totally legal, though. It's just certain people don't care for it. Anyways, so I was doing security work. I pulled into my father's house just to check on him, a welfare check, if you will. And he didn't like how I was dressed. He didn't like what I was driving and cussed me off his property. Well, believe it or not, around that same night, same time as I left his property with no issue, 3 hours later, a robbery takes place up in another small town called Bonnie Lake, Washington, if you're familiar with Washington. And believe it or not, a robbery takes place up there. Some 55-year-old female gets robbed by a guy impersonating a police officer. How convenient. Driving a same vehicle like mine, dressed in a similar uniform like mine, with red and blue lights in the car, and boom, bam, boom. The whole entire investigation got pinned on me. They didn't go out and look for anybody else. And the reason why is because my father, when I was down at his house, my father, believe it or not, after I left, called 911 and told 911 dispatch that I was impersonating a cop and could be very well and pulling people over without authority. That's where it started. If my father did not make that 911 call, I would have beat my case, no problem, and I wouldn't be a felon today. So it started with my father, and then of course the robbery was real, I guess. Come to find out, it wasn't. But I'll tell you a little bit more about that if I have to later in this show. And the whole entire thing was an inside setup job. Hence, the whole entire time I'm driving around with a ticking time bomb in my car, a laptop, kind of like what you're watching on here right now. And I had a laptop in my car, not knowing I had all that gunk or crap on my hard drive. I did not know. For all of you that kind of want to know where I got the laptop, well, I bought it off Craigslist. You guys all know or are familiar with Craigslist. I bought it for I think $100 or $50. Don't remember. It was cheap. I needed a laptop and I couldn't afford a brand new one. Does that make sense? So not knowing I had all that crap on my hard drive, and of course, all the haters say, well, why didn't you get it wiped before you used it? Well, I wasn't computer savvy then. I didn't know about all that tech then. I didn't think I needed to. I mean, I trusted the guy. You know what I mean? So boom, bam, boom. One thing led to another. They investigated the robbery. They didn't find any hardcore evidence, if you will, pertaining to the robbery, but then they found all that crap on my hard drive and my laptop. So that's why we're here today. Hence the reason why I am what I am today. So it's an actual disgrace. Very, very sad if you want to be truthful on that. Rise over here, you said, what? That's why it's best to not let people who you don't know personally to use your computer or smartphone. Don't even open links online from people you don't know personally either. No, you're absolutely correct, Rise. Yeah, you're right. And that's not how it happened with me. It's just I made I guess you could say, an innocent buy, trusting the guy, because that was, back in 2009 when things were different than they are today, obviously. And, I bought the computer, not thinking anything of it, and boom, here we are today. So, but it never got really investigated, to be totally honest with you. And everybody says I'm lying, or that's not what happened, or blah, 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 blah. Look, it happened. It's there. The files are there. Everything's public. If you guys want to look at my criminal past or my criminal record, all you got to do is just go down to the, or get on your computer at home, wherever you're at, go to the Pierce County webpage. Boom, there it is. Of course, that's only for people that know my real name, by the way. Hence the reason why I go by Jay on here and other platforms, because, I really don't have any obligation whatsoever to explain myself to any of you. Let's be honest. And I don't have to put my real name out here on social media unless I do so under my own free will. Does that make sense? So that's where we're at with it. I don't have to explain anything to nobody. There's no rules, laws, or regulations that state I have to do that. All right. So keep that in mind. All right, I hope you guys can hear me all right. Anyways, so I'm going to see if there's other people in here. What's going on with the chat here? There we go, live chat. I had to switch it because it wasn't on live for some odd reason. All right, Rise. Thanks for being in here and being part of the show. I do appreciate it. Now, according to this, it says there's 3 people watching. The 3 people that are in here watching right now, with all due respect, can you please put who you are in the chat box so I can see who you are, say hi to you, or if you are from Twitter, please, share this live stream with your Twitter account or your page or whatever you belong to so people can get in here and talk with me, because I don't do this much. All right. But I did want to bring a topic that I believe that we can fix when it comes to our prisons. And I think a lot of you will agree with me on this. Now, you guys have all seen the food trays and what they look like and how just pathetic and gross looking they are, not just from the amount of it, but also from the health aspect from it. Does that make sense? So I did a show, but it's gone now. I did a show on the food and what kind of solutions we can bring to the table on this. Does that make sense? So what I want to do is bring a solution to all the prisons in all 50 states and start planting gardens. I think that's an awesome idea. It's very cheap to a certain extent, and it'll save all the taxpayers a lot of money. Let's be honest. And you got all these fruits and vegetables that you can eat instead of, commissary or whatever it is that they're bringing in from the trucks. We need to have these locked up loved ones of ours eat better. And that's just where I'm at with it. So I think that's an awesome solution. Another solution, I think we need to bring body cams to all of our COs inside our prisons. That's another thing that needs to be brought up. Rise, you just said again, CP is disgusting, but it is a waste of tax dollars to arrest and send someone to prison for possession of CP. People addicted to watching CP need therapy and counseling, not prison. Absolutely. I did touch on that when I did a video called Addiction on my channel here that you're watching, Rise. And actually, believe it or not, it is true that what you just mentioned there is actually considered a mental condition. And believe me, my friend, there's a lot of them out there that is dealing with all types of mental conditions. So it is mental. This whole thing's mental. Let's be honest. And then Rise, you got back on here and said, true, they don't really wash their trays. They rinse it. Well, actually, I worked in the kitchen. You're semi-correct. They go through a very professional, high-grade dishwasher, but some of the water is still left on the tray when it exits the machine. Does that make sense? So when it exits the machine, it's still got a little bit of water on it, which is not real good or sanitary, but hey, they're in a rush. They don't have time for perfection. They just want to get it done, in, out, fed, and done. If I say this name right, and if I don't say it right, apologize. I'm not trying to beat up your name. Kaylee A. Scott. Hey, thank you for joining the show. I appreciate it. You're from Twitter, and you said most definitely gardens. Yes. Now, in the state of Washington, where I'm currently at right now, we did have gardens in our prisons, but they took them out. And here's why they took them out. No profit, no money to be made. Yeah, there's that magic word, money. They took it out because it was, how do I explain it? It wasn't bringing enough revenue or profit to the system. And that's sad. So that's how that turns out. And they won't bring it back for that reason. So we need to, let our politicians, our lawmakers, our governors, whoever you want to talk to, if not all of them, and say, hey, we need to bring back the gardens. It just makes a lot more better sense. And it's cheaper and it's healthier. I mean, there's so many beneficial things with that, guys. So Rise over here said some European countries have better prisons because they believe in Rehabilitation, not punishment. Yeah, no, I saw that. And I'm glad you brought that up. That's a great start for a debate or a conversation right there. If some of you are not aware of it, number one thing I want to say real quick is that the United States of America is the number one country for mass incarceration. And that's real talk. We are the only country in the whole entire world that have mass incarceration going on right now. Can you believe that? Everywhere. So, and again, the reasoning for that is because here we're all about the money. We don't give a crap about the locked up loved ones. We don't give a crap about lives. We don't. All we care about here in this country, when it comes to prisons, anyways, is the money. Over there in the European side of the world, they care about the lives. They care about health, and you can clearly see the difference between the two. So anyways, it says here, Collie Scott, I hope I pronounced your name right. And again, I'm not trying to beat it up. I apologize if I am. So I hope you don't take any offense to it. But you said beyond sad. It is sad. If space is being used for vegetables, it would automatically save the state in buying these perishable items. No, you're right. You're right. And if you guys have ever seen the yards in our prisons here in this country, the yards that we have are pretty big. You know, the ones here in my state, I've been in them. They're pretty big. And there's enough room to cut some of that yard out of the way that's not being used anyway for anything major, and make a garden. Start planting stuff. Every season, every year, you will have, vegetables. I would like to see even chickens being out there. Other animals that you can produce meats and milks and stuff like that. I meant a small farm, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Make it a small farm. Bring some small animals in there, stuff that will benefit the prison itself as a whole, and make healthier foods, not the crap that you see on these trays now. So Rise over here got back on here, says getting rid of gardens in the American prisons is kind of similar to what happened up in Canadian prison system, where they got rid of the farming programs working with animals. Yeah. And I bet you it's the same concept or the same reason why they got rid of it. Probably because of money. I wouldn't even be surprised. But hey, Rise, being that you said that, do you know why they got rid of it? Let me know. I bet you the answer is because there's no profit there. There's no money. So bear with me, guys. If there's something that you guys want to talk about here tonight on this live show, please get it ready in your chat box there and put it in the chat box, and I will talk about it. I appreciate you guys, man. This is how this gets stuff fixed in our system. Education, planting seeds, helping others, doing right by our system, or doing right by you all and our locked up loved ones. Because believe it or not, folks, our locked up loved ones do not have the same voice we do out here. And what I mean by that is simple. When we have locked up loved ones inside our prisons, they're only allowed to get certain messages out. D.O.C. will not let them, say what they want. So basically, their free speech inside there, anyways, is hampered a little bit. So we got to be the ones that are activists, and we got to be the ones that stands up and be their voice, because they're counting on us to let all of you out here know what's going on inside of our prisons. And the corruption, like I've said over and over in my other videos, the corruption runs deep. I'm dead serious, guys. Let's see here. It says, Rise over here said the inmates didn't get jobs in farming after getting released from prison. That's why they got rid of it. Oh, well, that makes sense, because gardening takes a little bit of physical work to make it work. And not to sound like I'm being vague or beating somebody up here or any of you up, people are lazy. They don't want to do any back-breaking elbow grease work. And it's kind of sad. we're starting to become a very lazy country in a lot of ways, guys, and that's just how it is. I have had the opportunity to sit down with correctional staff from Germany. Oh wow, that's cool. All right. The main thing that stuck out was that because of the country's history with demonizing Jews, that's a tongue twister for me. Sorry, apologize. They made a vow through a vow. Okay, well that's understandable. Everybody has different, you know, I guess you can say beliefs in different countries, but I get what you're saying. I do, I really do, and I appreciate your comment. Thank you. Rise over here said, "What level did you serve time in prison? Was it minimum, medium, or maximum?" I was in the I was in the very light section for security purposes. I didn't go to maximum. Absolutely not. And I don't think I was in medium. I think I was in minimum. Okay. And no, I was not in PC either. Everybody says people like you just go ahead and go up in PC. No, 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 no. That's a choice. All right. And I was with mainline. I was with the main crowd. All right. Even with my record. So Katie or Scott, I'll just call you Scott for your last name. Make it easy. Their constitutional law of the land without allow the um, dehumanizing of anyone in Germany, including incarcerated people. Yeah, yep, you're right. That's their again. Each country has different laws, different things, different beliefs, however you want to put it. Rise over here said, plus gardening is a time consuming job. It's not something that you can rush and finish it like 10 minutes or an hour. True. I used to be a gardener. I have a green thumb. I know exactly what you're talking about. But again, if you want the good stuff, you want great big vegetables, or you want tiny little stuff, you're going to have to go out there and maintain it. You just can't plant the seeds and walk away. There's maintaining it. There's taking the weeds out. You know, it's very complicated, I guess you can say, or complex. It's not a lazy job. It's only for the select few that have the patience for it. And I'm one of those individuals that I would have went out there and I have the patience for it and I don't care. But again, it's very few people that want to do that kind of backbreaking work. Sad. It's very sad. Solutions there, but are they willing to do it? It's all about your mindset. Again, Rise over here said, not a lot of people realize that in America, all states have different prison systems. Some states have PC, other states don't have PC. Well, yes, you're right. They have it. They're different names, but here in my state, they call it PC. And for you guys that are just tuning in, don't know what PC stands for, just for shits and giggles, it stands for protective custody. All right, so that's what PC stands for. And no, I wasn't in there. I didn't need it. Even with my type of record, I didn't need it. Um, Brandon something tunes fan 2000. I have 361 subs, now close to 400. Congratulations. That is awesome. And thank you so much for tuning. If you have a platform that you belong to, please share this live stream with all of your friends, family, and groups that you belong to so they can come in here and listen to this little spiel and put their questions and comments involved. And I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining, Brandon. Thank you. Now, keep in mind, guys, the comment section here on my channel, it's time delayed. So if I don't get your comment for whatever reason, you guys know how YouTube is. If there's a disrespectful comment or a cuss word, a bad word in the comment, it will be held. I won't see it until later down the road. Doesn't mean I'm ignoring you. It's just YouTube is got their set rules and whatnot, and they don't like bad words. They don't like disrespect. So if you're in here and you know who I am, let's keep it respectful, but let's keep the comments going. Thank you guys so much for joining. I do appreciate it. Now, real quick, to update all you with the podcast, what's going on, I got some pretty interesting things coming down the pike when it comes to this podcast. First thing I want to get off my chest is that I do have a possible t-shirt concept in the works. Okay, so that means here in the very near future, depending how long it takes, here in the very near future, I will have a t-shirt for all of you to check out and possibly buy and support me. Another way that you guys can support me is not just from subscribers on this channel. Now, keep in mind, I could use a lot more subscribers so YouTube can open up different avenues. All right. But I'm not getting any revenue or payment by doing these YouTube videos or going live. I just don't have enough subs. Brandon, thank you. I'll sub back as soon as this live is over. Okay. If I have not already subbed, I will do it right when this live is over. But I appreciate you. But to finish my statement, so there's major change coming down the pike when it comes to this podcast. I got a t-shirt in the works. I have no idea on the timeline when it'll be available, but I will keep all you updated on it. Also, we're in the process of looking for another place to live. All right. So I will keep you guys updated on that. Once I'm got a place to live, my studio will have a different look, except for what you see here. So that will be coming down the pike. So for the ones that have been a solid follower and gave me all the love and respect that I currently get, I'll keep you guys updated. For even the haters, because I know that the haters can't stand me, and you get the idea. I'm going to continue to do what I do and piss you guys off too. All right. So that's the whole plan. Okay, thanks, Brandon. I got your comment. Thank you very much. Rise over here just said most inmates target sex offenders. Yeah, that's only if they know their record. There's a thing called when you get booked in, real quick, and I'll finish your comment here in a second. When they get booked in first, there's a thing called paper check. Have you guys heard of that before? When you get booked in, these guys that are locked up with you, especially if you have a roomie or a bunkie, as they call it, they're going to ask you right off the bat before you even get settled in your cell. Paper check. They'll look right in your eyes and say, paper check. And if you don't have your papers from your court when you got into that prison, they're automatically going to assume that you have a funny beef and you're going to be a target. But to finish your statement, Rise, you said most inmates target sex offenders because they have wives, kids, and mothers to think about. Also, some of the inmates were molested as kids. That's why they target sex offenders. Well, yeah, but on that same token, as you know, and I hate to say this, but it is what it is, sex offenders are at the lower, very low end of the respect spectrum, if that makes sense. They don't get any love, no matter how you want to break it down or whatever you want to call it. They don't get any love in prison at all, period. They find out about you, you're pretty much screwed, meaning that the only way you'll survive in there if they find out about your bad record is PC up. Rise over here said peeing in public should not be a sex offense or even a crime either. No, you're right, Rise. Absolutely. Because we've all done it when we were younger. Can't make it to the bathroom. You got to do what you got to do. You find a bush. There you go. Today, it's boom. Oh, well, you did what you did over there. And now you are considered a sex offender. And it has nothing to do with the word sex. It's sad. We got to get these laws changed. And I need a major following to help me do so. Brandon said, share my channel, guys, and subscribe. Brandon, I will do the same. I'll get you out there. Like I said, as soon as this live is over, I'll check you out and go from there. If you can help me bring at least 500 subs to my channel that you're watching this right now with, it would give me a shot to open the community tab on this channel, and I can do more things. So please get your followers to sub if they're into this kind of thing. I talk about prisons, D.O.C, the corruption, everything related to prisons. If that's something that you like, hey, we'll get in here and do this together as a great big team. All right. I appreciate you. My favorite is Roadrunner and Coyote Beep Beep. Oh, you must be in the same age as me, because that was my favorite cartoon too. Speaking of which, my favorite funniest scene of the Bugs Bunny cartoons is the shoot me now or wait till you get home scene. I love that one with Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd. Anyways, thanks for your comment. I appreciate that. Rise over here just said, even snitches are hated and considered the lowest. Absolutely. There's an old statement, they call it out here, I think, is snitches are found in ditches. And there's a saying in prison, I just forgot what it's called. But yeah, if you're found out to be a snitch in prison, you're pretty much done. you might as well not even, you know what I'm saying? My great friend Pam Cummins. Thank you so much, Pam, for coming in here. I miss you. I haven't seen you in a while. I'm hoping you're okay. I'm going to update you real quick before I read your comment. I don't know if you belong to Twitter. If you do, follow me on Twitter. That's where I'm at now. I lost my Facebook account because of what happened. It's not the first time, I'm pretty sure. So, anyways, I'm on Twitter now, and I try to do on YouTube as much. So, thank you, Pam, for coming in here and being part of the show. I appreciate it. Share this stuff with your group so people can see and hear me and get educated tonight on certain things. Pam Cummings, my great friend, said, "You are such an inspiration. Keep it up. Lost my son that got out August 6, 2021." Pam, as much as I will hate to say this to you, Pam, and I hope you can hear me okay, I did not know any of this. And I'm very, very deeply sorry from the bottom of my heart that you lost your son. I am very sorry. I I don't know if you have my number personally, or do you have my email? Can we get a hold of each other a little bit later down the road, or maybe sometime this week so we can talk? I need to get on the phone with you or something like that. I'm very sorry, Pam. My heart, my condolences go out to you and your family. Email me at voicesfrominsideout@gmail.com right now. Send me your info and we'll hook up later. All right, Pam? I'm serious. I want to talk to you about some things. So I'm sorry, Pam. Anyways, my voicemail again for all of you that want to ask me something on a more personal note, if this is not your thing. voicesfrominsideout@gmail.com. All right. So email me there and we'll go from there. Thank you, Pam, for coming in here tonight. I appreciate you. Rise over here said Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry and Woody Woodpecker were great. Man, you're starting to bring back a lot of memories, Rise. That's my era right there. You can't forget, though, one of my favorite cartoons, Transformers, He-Man. I wasn't big on G.I. Joe, but yeah, Transformers was my major thing. And believe it or not, every now and then when I'm just chilling in my room here, I get on there sometimes to watch some old 1980s cartoons such as He-Man and Transformers. Yeah, it brings back a lot of childhood memories. Thanks for bringing that up, Rise. Rise said it's a shame they canceled Pepe Le Pew because they believed it was glorifying rape culture. He's a fictional character. Oh my God. Don't even get me ranting on that, Rise. I mean, that is absolutely ridiculous. Speaking of which, you kind of you brought me something to my attention in the back of my mind here. Here recently, I would say before COVID or even during COVID when it started, they're starting, if they haven't already, they already did it actually. When you go to the grocery store, they take the characters on your items that you buy, like syrup and all that, they've taken them all off, because of this big race thing that was going on. So same thing. I mean, our country that we live in currently right now is absolutely disgusting. Race, hate, bigotry, everything that's going on right now in this country. I mean, it's sad because my children that I currently have to be raised in this crap, and it's just disgusting. Brandon said, "I have more subs than you." Rub it in, Brandon. Thank you. Why don't you share some of your subs with me? I could use them right now. I only have 240 something, I think it is now, but I'm trying to get there slowly but surely. But if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns regarding this live with me tonight, I was actually expecting a lot more people in here from Twitter. I've advertised it since yesterday and actually a couple days out advertised this. And for some reason, they're not getting in here. So I'm assuming the times are a little different. You got to understand that if you live in a different state, you're 3 hours ahead of me or 3 hours behind me. So when I say 6:30 Pacific Standard Time here in Washington State, it's going to be like 10 something or 11 o'clock somewhere else. So yeah, a lot of people are probably in bed. So I'm going to have to figure out a different time so everybody can get in here. But it is what it is. It's trial and error when you do these live shows. Rise over here said it's hypocritical that celebrities like Mike Tyson, Jeffrey Jones from Ferris Bueller movie, who registered as a sex offender or severe prison time, don't get hated as regular. Yeah, and you know why that is, right? Rise? Plain and simple. Money. That's the only reason why they don't get harassed or teased or anything negative. Is because they got the money to buy you off. I, I don't know what else to say to you. I mean, that's only the fact thing that comes to my mind. The reason why we get hated on so much and get harassed and bullied and whatever else you want to call it, especially on social media, is because we're just nonchalant individuals. We don't have the popularity, if you will, like a movie star does, or somebody along that line. Hollywood, just like the prisons, are just as corrupt, and there's a lot of shady activity going on inside there, guys, that you guys don't even know. So, uh, Brandon just got on here and says, "What is your favorite Looney Tunes cartoon?" Well, I think I mentioned it earlier that the favorite scene that I have, I think I actually have two. But anyways, the one I like out of that is the "Shoot Me Now or Wait Till You Get Home" scene with Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and Elmer Fudd. It makes me laugh every time I see it. And then, of course, the musical one from what is it? It's Bugs Bunny, but it's a musical where Elmer Fudd and Bugs Bunny are chasing each other, and he's in the scene where he's getting his hair did, and there's music going along with it. That one's pretty funny. I can't remember the scenes, but anyways, name your favorite Looney Tunes cartoon in chat. Oh, maybe I'll do that a little bit later, Brandon. But Rise over here just got on here, said most correctional officers are bitter that they couldn't become cops, so they become COs. Right, because it's the lower end of a police officer, basically, without having police powers. That's what it boils down to. A CO cannot pull you over and give you traffic tickets or get into a high-speed chase or what a cop can do. They can only do their power, if you will, inside the prisons. That's where they think they're above law in there too, by the way. So, but anyways, you to finish your thing, you said cops. So they become COs and abuse their authority. Absolutely, every single day. Rise, it's happening every single day. As I'm sitting here talking to you, some inmate in all 50 states of our prisons, somebody's getting abused right now by a CO. That's real talk. And especially down there in the deep south, Alabama, Texas, Louisiana, Florida. Yeah, it's everywhere. Rise over here said 90s had great superhero cartoons like Spider-Man, the animated series, X-Men. Yep, those were all good. But from the superhero aspect, I really couldn't get into the cartoon aspect of the superheroes. I like the live action movies now that they got out now, and I've been a big Batman fan, so I watch my Batman series, the one with the Joker and yeah, those were good. Brandon said I did do the opening and closing to Rabbit Season 1952. Oh wow, well that's cool. Thanks, Brandon, for your comments. I appreciate it. So Rise, did you by chance while we're here, because I'm going to 7:30, so this live is almost done. Is there did you share this live with the group that you belong to, that I talk to you on every now and then? Let me know if you did, because like I said, I don't know who's all in here now. Keep in mind, since I've been doing this, there's 4 people now watching. Now there's 3. I was hoping to get at least 1,900 of you in here, but evidently something didn't work out. Maybe, like I said, it's the timing. I'll have to do some different times. Let's see. Rice said, I'm from Florida, where we have cops and COs who are part of KKK. That's not surprising. If you remember, I lived in Florida for 5 years before I came back to this state, where I'm currently at now. And you'd be amazed at what I saw down there. I was doing my prison activist stuff down there and in the prisons in the Deep South. And if you've ever been, any of you that are watching right now, ever been in the Deep South, you all know how hot it is and how hot it can get in the middle of the summer. See, here in this state, we can get hot, but nothing like that. Down there, they have the heat from the sun, and then they also have the humidity that adds to it. And it's like a pressure cooker in some places, especially in prison. So you have, believe it or not, you have inmates that are in there that don't have any AC, and the prisons have AC, just so you know. I made a shitstorm out of that down there when I was in Florida. Yeah, and that's real talk. The prisons themselves actually have those big professional air conditioning units on top of their roofs of prison. If not, it's on the side of the buildings. And you won't believe that they're not even running during the summertime. And can you imagine how hot it is inside those prisons? Because again, most of those prisons are made out of brick and masonry. So it just sucks and absorbs the heat. So inmates in there, or our locked up loved ones, I should say, in there actually died of heat exhaustion. So who do you blame there? Well, again, the families turned around and sued D.O.C., Department of Corrections, for that. That's an Eighth Amendment violation. If you don't know what the Eighth Amendment stands for, basically it's prison conditions and all of that, and you're titled, even if you're in there, doesn't matter what your record is or anything. All locked up loved ones, believe it or not, have a right to have decent living conditions, and AC is part of it. So I made a pretty big shitstorm out of that down there when I was doing that down there in Florida. So it is a major thing. And every year it happens. Every year when summer would kick it down there in down there in Florida, boom, I had my phone blew up and said, hey, this prison over here is having AC problems. Go down there and do a story on it. Make it. And it was boom, 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 everywhere. I never had a break. Let's see. It says Rise Over Here said, I'm from Florida. Oh, yeah, I already read that. Sorry. Rise Over Here. I don't have Facebook or Twitter. I just have Instagram. All right. Well, that will work too. It's a start. So Rise, put this if you want to. And again, there's no obligation. I'm not forcing you to do it. It's merely choice. But if you can, please put it on your Instagram and share it there. That way it helps me get out more. You know what I mean? It's 7:15 here in my studio here. So if you guys can put any more comments or any questions, concerns, or even maybe some headaches involved with this live chat here tonight, I would greatly appreciate it, of course. Now, there's only one person in here. Let me check my Twitter and see if anybody's got a hold of me. And again, I've been doing a lot of, I guess you can say, activity, if you will, on Twitter, because that's where it seems to be at right now. People just retweeted and hearted my post, but nobody said anything, so it's all good. No worries. And hey, Brandon, if you're still in here, so you know, I got your notification. I will sub back to you. All right. All right. Well, anyways, with that said, it's 7:16. Does anybody else have any comments or questions? Rise said, sure, I'll tell people to follow your YouTube channel. Thank you. I do appreciate that. Rise Over Here. I do appreciate it. And then, of course, I have not heard anything from my Patriot friend. You know who I'm talking about? The older gentleman. I have no idea what happened to me. He kind of just stopped talking to me and all of you. So it's got me a little concerned. So I'm going to have to message him here probably tonight sometime and see what's going on with him. Usually he always wants to talk and, see how I'm doing, but he hasn't done it in a couple of weeks. A little concerning. Some good news here in my state. If you guys are here in this state, March 1st or sometime this coming March, our mask mandate will be no longer here. So none of us are going to have to wear masks anymore here in this state, especially inside of a building or something along those lines. Great news there. Thank you, Governor, for doing that. Appreciate it. Let's go, Brandon. Anyways, so we're going to get rid of the mask. The only people that still have to wear it if you belong to the health system or health business. Rise Over Here said there is a new YouTube sex offender channel called the Modern Day Leper. Check him out and subscribe. Absolutely. Hey, While you're on here real quick, but before I go, can you please send that link to me now on the chat so I can just click it and go from it, because it's hard to find it, uh, you know, freely. So if you have the link to it, send it on here, Rise, and I'll just go to it that way. I appreciate you, Rise. Thank you. Brendan, are you still here? If you are, do you have any questions regarding my topics tonight? If not, I appreciate you coming in here. Let's see if what's her name still. I'm sorry, I just have one of those nights. Pam, you still in here? Let me know if you're still in here. I'll get a hold of you hopefully tonight if I have the time. Again, I'm sorry for your loss. That sucks. Rise over here said up in Canada they are getting rid of the vaccine passports in March 1st, 2022. Hey, that's good news. Now, good question, Rise. Does that mean you guys are going to be able to travel and come out of that country and come over here? Oh, Pam said, yeah, thank you, Pam. Stand by, okay, Pam? Don't go anywhere. So, Rise, like I said, my question, can you travel now that that's going to be lifted? Let me know. Pam said, thanks for real, 100%. No problem, sweetie. Rise said, I believe, yes. Well, that's good news. Like I said, I'm hoping, like, whenever you do take a vacation, if you do or can, I'd like to meet you one day, bud, and shake your hand and show you that I, got a lot of love and respect for you, Rise. Thank you for doing what you're doing. Same thing with you, Pam. I'm hoping I get to meet you one day too, as well. You've been very solid with me in this group and this page and this channel. Actually, speaking of something else that just came to my head before I get out of here, God, I just had a brain fart. What's his name? Offender. What's his name? Offender. Right. You know who I'm talking about. He has a channel too. I just had anyways, he's got a new site coming up here soon. It's in the works. I don't know if he's done with YouTube because he hasn't made any YouTube channels, but he gets on every now and then, checks in and puts something in his community tab section. The Outspoken Offender. Yes, thank you. Sorry, one of those nights. The Outspoken Offender is coming up with a new webpage or website. So I've been following him. We're still communicating, even though he's been quiet. Great person again. I really like this guy. I also like all the other ones that I follow too, like the Common Sense Law guy. A lot of great information that these guys are doling out, and it pisses off the haters. I mean, some of the knowledge and education is just overwhelming. I love these guys, and I don't know where I'd be without them, to be honest with you, including you guys too as well. Like I said, I've been doing this since 2018, but I can't really prove it because, like I said, I've been shut down so many times, lost all my Facebook accounts and other shit that all my videos that I've saved are gone. Not from YouTube, but I'm saying Facebook-wise. And Facebook's a joke. I'll never get another Facebook account. So if you're asking, nope, I'm not doing it. The Outspoken Offender and Common Sense Law should do an interview together. Yeah, I agree. Even Roshan C. Evans should do an interview with the Outspoken Offender and Common Sense Law. I agree. I don't know why they haven't yet, because they're big. Their channels are bigger than mine, and they're getting revenue. And, I don't know if some of them are getting paid or not, but I'm not. So this is all out of my pocket. This is all my money. Speaking of which, if there's anybody of you out there watching right now that want to donate to help me until I become somewhat bigger on YouTube, donate for this cause and help me support this. You can send it to me at my P.O. box. I don't do Cash App or any of those things because they're scams and they take a fee. So no. I mean, if you want to donate me, I get the solid whole amount if you just send it to my P.O. box. If you guys can do that, I greatly appreciate it. Again, I'll have t-shirts coming up. That's in the works. I think the lady that I got doing this with me is solid, and working together on a concept. I'll keep you guys updated on that. And then you guys can buy a t-shirt and support me that way too as well. So I will basically call it my merch line. That'll be awesome. Rise gets got back in it. That there is a difference between pedophilia and absolutely. And I saw the video that Common Sense Law did. Very, very insightful. And I think, to be honest with you, Rise, I don't know if you watched the video or not, but it broke it down in great detail, better than I could have done, or even possibly even Outspoken Offender. I mean, he broke it down, the difference between what's what, and I've been called all those labels too, just so you know. And I'm going to let everybody know here on this channel that I don't fit any of those labels, just so you know. All right. I've done my homework and my research on it. I'm not labeled as any of those. And if I get called them, the person that's calling me those can get sued. I'm just keeping it real. I don't want to do that, but I will do what I have to protect myself and my family. I will sue for slander. And that's exactly what it is. All right. Because it's absolutely uncalled for. It doesn't fit my description. I never got charged of hurting a kid. And if you guys have seen my record, you know what's on there. My charge is computer related. Victimless. It's a victimless crime. Non-violent crime, as they call it in the court system. So, Rise just said some folks believe a 50-year-old is a pedophile for dating a 25-year-old. Real quick, 25 is legal and 50 is legal. If it's below 18, then we got a little problem. But yeah, that's just that mindset. That's that ignorance that I'm talking about. 25-year-old, which don't make sense. They don't. It's creepy, yes, but legal too. Yeah, and that's what I just said. You know, it may not look right to another person's eye, but it is what it is. And there's no law against it. So people are entitled to their opinions, but just, you know, keep in mind, opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. All right. So it is 7:25. I'm about ready to back out of here now. If you guys want to contact me and you don't know how to, again, my voicemail for this podcast to get a hold of me on a personal note, write it down or pause this, replay this part, however you want to do it. My voicemail, or my email, I should say, is voicesfrominsideout@gmail.com. All right. All one word, by the way. There's no spaces, no dots, nothing. It's voicesfrominsideout@gmail.com. Email me, get hooked up with me, put your questions, whatever it is that you got going on in the email, and I'll respond back as soon as possible. All right. Again, Rise, thank you've been the number one person in here asking all the questions and comments. I appreciate you, Rise. Tax evasion, drug addiction, and possession of child porn are all victimless crimes. Absolutely. But they sure, the haters and the system itself sure make you look like a bad monster, don't it? I mean, you can just imagine my life and how it's been. You know, I in some cases it's hard to find jobs. It's hard to find housing. Yeah, believe it or not, that this label, which I'm not, by the way, it ruins people's lives. They don't realize the damage that it cost. And all it took was one upset mother to go in there with her mixed bag of emotions into the Capitol and get these laws what you see today, like Megan's Law, the sex offender registry. I mean, John Walsh, you guys know who I'm talking about? He's the one that lost his kid in the murder. He's the one that kind of started this whole scenario about get tough on crime. Let's get these bad people like me off the streets forever. This is what we deal with. And now I got to be the one, on top of so many other activists, I got to be the one that tries to bring change to our system. It's absolutely disgusting. This whole entire thing was designed, believe it or not, to protect the kids. And we already know that it's not. There's proof in the pudding that it does not protect our kids. It was actually designed for the police departments, but they don't tell you that. This whole thing was designed to keep the police departments updated on this person's whereabouts, but it's gone way overboard. Now you have, the people like me are getting killed, murdered, all because our stuff's public. So once you find the guy's address, phone number, where he lives, boom, you're done. Some guy that doesn't have a lot of brains in his head will go out and find you and take care of you. That's how they feel about us. And it's sad. That's why I gotta have eyes in the back of my head, guys, just so you know. Raya said, true, I hear you. Sign holder jobs and flyer distribution jobs will hire everybody. I work as a sign holder for a company that operates all year round. My company hired a former murderer and SO2. Wow. Okay, well, I'll have to look that up and see if there's any jobs here in this state when it comes to that. Thanks for that information, though, Rise. I appreciate it. And you also said down below that, said sign holder is not the most glamorous job, but a job's a job. Absolutely. Well, I can get in some pretty interesting debates when it comes to that with my wife. I'm not going to go any further with that. I think you get the idea where I'm coming from. My wife can be kind of judgmental a little bit, with all due respect, and kind of picky when it comes to jobs. And she thinks I can do better and deserve better. But I told her, hey, getting the good jobs for people like me is going to be hard. So, but, I'll take what I can take. I'm not that picky. It is what it is. Well, guys, it's 7:29. Thank you guys so much for joining this live chat tonight. Share this stuff. Get it out there with your friends. I'm here. I may not be as active as I need to be, but I'm here. Again, if you're on Twitter, follow me there, and we'll go from there. This has been your host from Inside Out. Thank you guys so much for joining. I do appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Good night, everybody.